Well, it's 20 after 8 and I'm on my way to the barn. Wanted to update everybody a few little things. One, we're trying to close off the Ohio group today. I had buttoned down on it last night, and I've been emailing people that had said they wanted shares just to double check. So there are between 2 and 4 shares. I want to say there's 4 left, but in all fairness, I have to wait to hear back from one of the people that had originally said they wanted to share in the group. If they don't, there's 4. If they do, there's 3. That's that. So if you're interested in the Ohio group and the horses we have in that group, please let me know. Secondly, and I guess most importantly, was the issues going on with shedrow 5 and the strangles virus being found in a horse that shipped. So let me be as clear as I can. Maybe this is the first time you guys are hearing it, or maybe I wasn't clear the second time. Nevertheless, I want to give everybody an update. So, a horse was purchased by one of our employees and put on the back of Mario's barn. Now, somebody had said, well, why are outside horses coming into our barns? They're not our barns. This is a public training center. And the horse was put in the back of the barn, 1, because that's where the stall was. 2, because the gentleman works for us and was hoping he'd keep the horse close. And there is no reason for us to believe anything was wrong with that horse. That horse had 2 negative tests in PEI, got on a truck, shipped up here, and then they found out another horse on the truck had tested positive for strangles, did their contact tracing, and realized this was a horse that was on the trailer. So, before everybody says, oh, you shouldn't have done that, I'm just as guilty. 2 weeks before, when I was in Pennsylvania, a gentleman had called me, a relative of Harry Polton, and said, hey, would it be all right if Harry took a horse for us through the stable? And I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, hold on a second. Isn't there something going on with PEI with strangles right now? And he said, we have 2 negative tests. We emailed them both to Harry. The veterinarian said the horses are cleared to race here, therefore they're cleared to leave here. Okay, fine. It was only after I spoke to a veterinarian up here that is with works with OMAFRA and works with the University of Guelph and is somewhat of an expert in this field. And that veterinarian told me that negatives aren't always negatives. I guess we're seeing that now that we're in the year of 2020 with COVID-19, right? You hear about false positives, you hear about people walking around perfectly fine without any symptoms, yet they're what they call carriers. Now, the word come back on the horse. He was a carrier of the strangles virus. Horse is fine, no temperature. Sent the horse off the training center. Now the horse, we'd look for a farm, and obviously I was helping. We'd look for a farm where there was no other horses. The horse went to that farm. Now, none of the horses in shedrow 5 exhibit any signs of sickness. None. Just so we're clear. Now, there are protocols in place. It appears they change all the time, or at least they change sometimes, and I think they'll probably change again after they review what went on, not just in PEI, but at Woodbine this summer. I mean, the world's changing, right? It's not the same as it was in 2019, that's for sure. And when it comes to a strangles virus, from the information I heard, lots of horses have the strangles virus. It's only the ones that get sick you have to worry about, and it's extremely contagious. That's the problem with the strangles virus. So we have 4 or 5 race horses in Mario's barn. Those horses would either have to have those 2 negative tests that horse had in PEI, or 1 positive gluttural swab. So the gluttural pouches are in the horse's throat. You have to go into the back of the throat with a scope, get a swab from the gluttural pouch, send it away, culture, or take it to Guelph and culture it. Now we're lucky in the sense that Guelph University, 20 minutes north of the farm. So it's not really a tedious thing, but at the same time, if I know that these cultures are asking for can read negative, but they might be positive, I think we owe it to ourselves to make sure they are negative, 100%. And I guess the gold standard, as you might say, of this testing is the swab from the gluttural pouch. So I had asked the veterinarians, and I'll be contacting the AGCO today to say, listen, so what they've found, I guess, and again, this is from them into my ears, out of my mouth to you, so it may not be completely correct, but the way that I understood it was this virus A horse can test and be positive for about 7 days, they found. It can be longer, but in most cases it's around 7 days. So we're going to give it 10. I'm going to ask the AGCO to allow our horses to be tested, entered next Monday and Tuesday for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, be tested Thursday. I'm told the cultures will be back Thursday afternoon or Friday morning. I think they're cultures. Again, I'd be careful what I say to make sure I'm right. The results will be back Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. Theoretically, if our horses come back negative, which they should, they could race. No harm, no foul. We missed a week. Here's the caveat. If even one of those horses tests positive, they're all scratched. And that's just how it is. And this is beyond blaming people, because there's really nobody to blame. I can't blame Chris for doing something that I did the exact same thing to. I can't blame the farm for putting him on the end of our barn. He works for us. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying, well, we should be racing. Sure, you should be racing. And we will. But we have to make sure that we protect the horse population, we protect our industry, and we protect our other horses. So that is the plan for right now. There is zero concern from me. Zero. There is no temperatures. Again, we're taking the temperatures twice a day of every horse on the farm. Sure, there's a couple of horses, babies in the top barn, coughing with mucus that have a temperature, but exhibit no real signs of the strangles. When it comes to that shedrow and everything around that shedrow, no temperatures, either in the morning or the afternoon. No sickness, not even a loss of appetite. So there is no concerns. These horses are going to train on Saturday. They're going to train back on Tuesday. Are they going to be super tight? No, because we can't go to Mohawk to train them. But we can train them up tight and race them next weekend is the plan. Now this is pending approval from the AGCO, right? That's only fair. But this is the proposal that I worked on giving the veterinarians. If we test them all next Thursday morning, they should be back by Friday morning, Friday afternoon at the latest. The earliest horse would race later that afternoon. What's to lose? For the AGCO, theoretically, you could scratch a horse. Not really the end of the world. What's to gain would be a minimal imposition to participants, to you, to me, to people that race horses that did nothing wrong. So I suspect that plan will be implemented, and that is the plan and the course of action we will follow. Again, I can't reiterate enough. There is zero signs of any sickness in our barn to speak of, other than a couple of babies in other places in top of the barn, little sickness, no strangles, none. Right? That doesn't mean that these horses aren't carrying the virus right now. And we know what that means in a year of COVID-19. It might mean nothing. But that should dissipate and be gone within 7 days. Historically speaking, we will test them in 10 days to make sure. So by all accounts, by next Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, we should have 5 negative tests and everybody's cleared to go. That's where we're at with the Strangles virus. Now, that's good news. Got some bad news. I'm looking at the radar closely, and I was so happy the other day when we were able to drone because the weather changed. Well, Mother Nature giveth, and Mother Nature taketh away. And we've been watching the radar closely the last 2 days. And 25 to 30 millimeters of rain on Saturday, barely freezing overnight, a chance of rain in the morning, and high winds. So not only is it bad for the horses and frustrating for me, you know how much I hate the mud, but it is an impossibility for the drone at gusts of 40 kilometers an hour. Curtis can't rent a helicopter, so we won't be able to likely drone on Sunday. No drone on Sunday, no point in having the open house on Sunday. Now, this would be a crushing blow to us in a year where people were allowed at the training center. But we are going to turn the lemons of 2020 into lemonade and saying that our entire broadcast is put together. What we were planning to do, all the draws, everything we were trying to do for you is put together. And it really doesn't matter what day it's on. Sure, I would love for all our clients to wake up in the morning, kick their feet up, get a coffee, some toast, and watch the virtual open house. That was my plan, and that would be awesome. Now, probably can't have it on Sunday. Curtis said he looked at all the days leading to Christmas. He said, Anthony, Tuesday is the lowest wind. He said for whatever reason, it's going to be windy all the rest of December. Now, not crazy windy, but keep in mind, that little drone, Curtis says anything over 25 is sketchy. You see some of those drone days where the drone just falls back, can't keep up. It just isn't good. That's when the wind is up. So gust of 40 is insane. We can't do anything about that. I looked at a couple of days next week. Now, next Sunday looked okay, a potential day, but that is afternoon racing in London for a Drivers' Championship. For, I don't know, Woodbine versus London. And Curtis does a lot of work right now with COSA. And in turn, they'll be covering this Drivers' Championship. So that was already locked in. So we're looking at any day in between there. I would love it to be a weekend, but next Saturday doesn't look great. I want to have the weather in front of me. It's on my phone. Tuesday looks good. So I'm not going to officially cancel the open house right yet. I'm not going to do that. But I think it's worth noting that it's an unlikelihood right now. And the show would have to go on. If we were here, you guys have been here when we drove around the track with the camera in the back because it was windy. You know, it was a muddy day. We've had poor weather before, but that's because our clients were here. They were in hotels. They were at the restaurants. We had parties at Mohawk or Flamborough. We were entertaining. We had hundreds and hundreds of people here from all over the world. We just don't have that this year. So, given those circumstances, given what I just talked about, I think it's probably best that we pick a good day. Pick a day for the drone. So I'm probably going with Curtis on this and looking again. We're going to be looking again this afternoon, Kelly, Curtis, and I, to make a decision. But it looks like Tuesday, according to Curtis, would be the best day. We'll take a look. I'm really hoping that Saturday would be good, but like next Saturday. But it's just not cold enough to be great, and it's not a perfect day. They're all windy days. So we're working on that this afternoon. As of right this second, technically the virtual open house is not canceled, but it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for you, doesn't look good for the horses, certainly looks terrible for the drone. So it makes sense to at least look at the situation and say what is best for everybody. So that's where we're at right now. I'll get back to you guys in another video maybe this afternoon to give you an update of what went on. For those of you who are my partners at Path of Totality and of Tom, the surgeries on both those horses went perfect. They are now in their stalls. 2 weeks in the stall, then we can start hand walking of Tom. Well, given the weather, probably can hand walk her. And usually when they say hand walk in the middle of the winter, we hook them up and walk them around the track. Nobody wants to be hand walking in the ice and snow. When it comes to Path of Totality, she'll be in for about 2 weeks. We'll start rehabbing that knee, and then she'll go out in the field for 2 months. This is a filly that I'm paying very particular attention to in the year 2021. I think she's going to have a big 4-year-old season. I think this is a filly, 1, very well bred, and 2, has a lot to offer. So that's a pretty big update, but at the same time, a lot worth talking about. I wanted to make sure everything was crystal clear about Shedrow 5, what is, has, and will go on. I wanted to update everybody on the open house, where we're at, what it looks like, what our options are. Tell you about the 2 horses that had operations done. And then, as I started off the video, tell you that if you want in the Ohio group, it is almost sold out, and I would like to close it today. So, that's that. I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you're having a good day. Mine started off 50-50. Take care.